Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cosmic Closet podcast. I'm your host, Blaine, and joining me today are my co-hosts. We have Jacob.
Hello.
And we have Connor.
Hello, everybody.
And we're also joined by our third podcast guest. We have Jordie Jordan, also known as Wings of Redemption. Wings, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Well, let's just get right into it. So, how about you just go ahead and start it off in case our viewers don't really know much. Tell us a little bit about what you do, like what you stream, stuff like that.
I'm primarily a Rainbow Six streamer at this point, but I do stream a lot of Dark Souls and Fallout. I came from the YouTube gaming community in YouTube. I started back in October of 2009 was when I uploaded my first video. I was back during World War II, and I've been doing that ever since. Lots up and downs, lots of drama.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have quite a giant following on all your platforms, pretty much.
I call it giant, but I have a dedicated following.
Yeah.
Can you just kind of tell us, like, how you got the name Wings of Redemption, how you came up with it?
It's a two-part story. One, it was a poem that I wrote, and I thought it was a cool name. And the poem was inspired by King Tut, and like on top of his tomb, it says, "On death comes swift wings." And I made a variation of that into a poem I wrote when I was in high school. Like when I created the username, I was one of those channels that just created an account to watch YouTube videos and subscribe to people, and I didn't until like a year later actually start uploading videos when I got into it with a guy named Z7 Taylor. Like me and him started doing sniper montages with dazzles, and like that's how we started making videos.
Damn.
If I could just ask another one, what's kind of like your favorite content to stream right now?
I don't particularly like streaming right now.
Oh, really?
Is it like the comments and stuff, or?
It's mainly the following I get from it. There's been a whole subculture built up around to try to make my life as miserable as possible, and I'm trying my best to make my life better as possible. Like I want to push it forward and up and actually become, somebody I can be like proud of.
Right.
Yeah. So you've been streaming and uploading, well, not streaming, but you've been on YouTube for how many years?
I had to think about it, but it's 10 plus years.
Yeah, so you're like you got there real early, like one of the first people to the platform.
I wasn't one of the first to the platform. The platform started in 2006. So I was a little late on that ball, but like I was one of the first HD Call of Duty channels. Like, and
Yeah.
that mainly came from I couldn't stand playing on Dazzle because it was I think it was 480p max, and it was very blurry. So if you wanted to capture footage, you'd have to play in like SD like resolution. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
screw this. I make good money. I went on eBay and I bought an Hyapog HD PVR. This is when they first came out. And it was like $210, and like I got everything hooked up and started uploading videos.
Damn, so you're like in the one of the first people to actually start uploading like high quality footage of the games you played. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Jacob, do you have a question for him?
How about we? Do you want to just jump into the surgery thing?
Yeah, let's get
Yeah,
into that.
That's something a lot of people want to know about.
So
Yeah.
I know you've streamed a couple
know
times
about the surgery.
afterward.
Right. We kind of just wanted to know if like you could explain how Mexico was, like as far as the experience.
For interpretations of Mexico, like what am I going against?
What do you mean?
Well, I've been to Mexico before, like on vacation, stuff like that. What area were you in?
Super hilly from where I live at. It's close to the Pacific Ocean. It's got nice beaches. Revolution Avenue is kind of weird. way nicer than I thought it was going to be. Every time I pictured Mexico before going there, I always pictured like those Western towns, like where like Clint Eastwood rides in with a horse and like he's
Yeah.
like slaps the
Right.
bartender and he wants a bottle of liquor. Like I
Yeah.
pictured Mexico to look like Taco Bell commercials, and it's nothing like that. It's like a full-fledged city,
Right.
and
Yeah.
like everybody is so nice, and like there's so many people there that are bilingual. And like it kind of shows how far the United States education system is, because like in the southern United States, you never meet a person that's native here that speaks two languages. Never do it. I feel like the school should start pushing for.
Yeah, that's a good point.
How was the actual surgery itself, as far as the procedure? Was it pretty easy?
During it.
Yeah, or during, yeah.
Yeah, I was under anesthesia.
Right.
How long did it take?
30 minutes.
What?
Oh,
damn.
for real? Jesus.
So was this like a procedure that's not done in America? Like, what was the point to go to Mexico?
Yeah.
A couple reasons I went to Mexico. One, I had a game plan in the foreseeable future to leave. And to do that, and I also knew I needed to pay for aftercare. And like the surgeon here, I think wanted $16,900. Mexico wanted $5,650. He added the plane ticket and stuff in. It was about half the price. And I got more experience in Mexico than I did with the surgeon here at Conway Hospital. The surgeon here at Conway Hospital, Dr. Nair, he'd only done 500 bariatric surgeries at the time where I was applying. And Dr. Garcia, who ended up doing my bariatric surgery, had done over 10,000.
Mm. So you pretty much chose that doctor because that doctor had more experience, right?
Also wanted to go back to school, and I knew I had to do blood work, doctors. I don't have health insurance, so like everything I do is much more expensive. Like the 26th of this month, I have to go and get blood work done, and that's going to probably run about $150 to $200, depending on what they ask to be checked. Um, and then the doctor's appointment itself is going to be $60 right off the rip. So you're looking anywhere from $200 to $250, and I got to do that once every 3 months. There's complications that can happen with the surgery, like there's a thing called restricture, which is when the scar tissue of your stomach closes one of the orifices, either in your duodenum or your esophagus, and they have to go in. The esophagus is more common, and they have to go in and do what you call do an upper GI, which is basically they run this thing down your throat and they kind of force open the walls of your esophagus to make the hole bigger. And sometimes you got to do that 2 or 3 times. Hopefully that doesn't come to pass, but that's something you got to prepare for. Your body's going to be running primarily off of fats, mainly because you're going to be eating fat cells because you're only eating 500-600 calories a day. So this is going to put your gallbladder to work, and some people have crystals that develop in their gallbladder from overindulgence of fats in their body, and that can cause gallstones. And gallstones makes it so like there's these crystallized formations in your gallbladder that kind of block it from like draining. I don't know how gallbladders work, but like there's an orifice there that has to have something pass through it, and these crystals can block that and cause tremendous pain. And so like they have to go in and cut that out. That's a $10,000 surgery. Also, I'd also like to keep in mind that I maybe want to go back and have the skin removed in a year and a half, maybe 2 years from now, and that's probably going to run me about $5,000 as well. So like there's all kinds of reasons to have a nest egg to do this.
Right. Yeah.
Not to mention protein is not cheap. Like if you ever hit the gym or when you're anywhere like that, like a 12 pack of protein shakes costs $20. If you go get a big jug, you might pay $35 for one of those big jugs, and then you got to constantly buy milk to make that, unless you want to drink it with water, which water protein shakes are terrible.
I was gonna ask you. I just popped up the tweet about you stocking up your fridge, and you have a lot of muscle milk and a lot of Welch's grape juice. What's your diet looking like right now?
My diet right now, it is the last week has been one of two things. I either drank two protein shakes a day, which is like 300 calories. They're 160 a piece. Eat like 2 eggs, or I'd eat 4 eggs and 1 protein shake. That's how I've been eating recently. But the next couple of days, I'm going to actually be able to get into like beans and like deli meats and pork and chicken, so I can add meat back to my diet. And I can also start with experimenting with fruit slices, like apple skins and things like that. So like that will also, so there's my diet's going to open up tremendously over the next 3 or 4 days.
Right. Yeah. I had another question about the surgery. I know one of the primary ways that you paid for it was supplied through donations. How much money did you actually manage to get from donations? Did you spend it all on the surgery?
The donations in total I got was $25,000. It's like a little bit over. It's like $25,050 for I shut down. Like, yo, what? No money's going towards the surgery now.
Right.
I spent about $8,500 to $9,000 getting to the trip and getting back, and that left me with roughly $13,000-14,000
Right.
of surgery money, which I'm putting back into aftercare for the most part.
All right. Yeah, that pretty much answered that. That's all I
You,
was
you
wondering.
also got to remember I got to pay taxes on that 25,000, which I
Right.
haven't done yet.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
about 5,000 of that 14 has to go to the IRS.
All right. Well,
I'm
if it's all
I'm
right with
seeing.
you, I think the audiences want a little Q&A.
Yeah. Let's do some audience questions right now.
Is
Um,
that is legit?
Yes.
For real.
Oh, I'm seeing people mention like buying a truck or shit like that. Do you have any kind of defense against that by using the nest egg on other stuff other than actual medical bills?
I do have a defense for that. When I started accepting donations, I didn't write up a formal contract, and two, um, I'm not spending money on trucks. I stated that I stated clearly that I wanted to save up for the American surgery, so I had the choice of getting Mexico or America, depending on where I felt fit. Because, like, you got to understand, if you're not the person facing the dilemma, it's a lot easier of an answer, right? Like, if you don't have to go, like, well, I'm going to go get my stomach cut out, and this is going to be a life change that I got to live with the rest of my life, X and X. You want to give yourself the option to do multiple things, right? So, like, if I felt
Right.
Mexico was so unsafe that I didn't want to risk it, I wanted the money to do it in America, which I did, and vice versa. So, like, but at the time, I had 2 people that went to Mexico, and the more I did research, the more comfortable I got with the Mexico surgery, and I felt like the better option for my health was going to be Mexico, not because of money, but because 10,000 bariatric surgeries. Who would you rather have do yours?
Right.
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 Yeah.
Well, um, I mean, if you saved up money for the more expensive American surgery, do you have plans to like refund the nest egg, or not the nest egg, but like the extra money that you didn't spend in Mexico? Um,
That I'm using it for aftercare. I got to pay taxes on it. There's all kinds of things that could pop up that would need me to have money on hand, like gallbladder surgery, kidney
right.
stones,
Was
blood
that
work.
included in the American surgery though?
Wasn't
Okay.
like I would have had to accept more donations.
Right.
Mm.
All right, Connor. Why don't you get us started in the Q&A?
All right. Let me look through some of these questions. All right. Here's actually something that I was wondering about. Somebody said, well, actually, I think this was Jacob's question. Jacob, do you want to do it?
I don't even know what you're referring to right now.
The only question that you wanted to ask?
Number 6.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
All right, let's just
Oh,
do. Yeah, you got.
I
It.
guess still on topic with the surgery, I suppose. I know, like a couple months ago, you had like a deal with Keemstar about him paying. He wanted to pay you the full 25,000 for the surgery if you
I had a live stream
if you
with
got in a
Keemstar
boxing
where
match.
where he offered to pay for my surgery in America as long as I fought him a year from then. And it's like no, like first off, to Keemstar has always been sketchy with certain things. Yeah, he comes through in a lot of things that he says, and I believed that he would have gave me the money. But at the same time, like it was been something like, you should thank Keemstar for your life, blah 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 blah. And then if I fought Keemstar and lost, that's another thing. It's just more stuff. Like I'd much rather walk my own path and deal with it. Because at that time when he offered the money, I already had the money in donations. Like I'd already accrued everything I needed to get the surgery on my own. And like you see how people are reacting in your chat to like, where's the 13K? And they're like, you spent money on an iPhone. Just imagine how much it would be if I pocketed the entire 25K because Keemstar paid for my surgery. And the same shit with just more people throwing it.
Right.
I didn't buy my iPhone with surgery money. Like what happened is like, I don't know about you, but my local phone company does phone upgrades where you can just get a new phone and they'll bill you for it through periodic payments.
Right.
Line off, which was $50, and I took the internet line back, which I have paperwork right down here for. I could show, and I just turned $50 off here, put another $38 here. I'm from the longevity standpoint, I just took $15 off my bill. How the iPhone was paid for. I didn't steal 13K, and the fact is, most of you guys that are saying I stole money, you didn't even donate.
Right. Let's go to the second question, Connor.
The second one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Somebody had a question. I think the commenter was, I leave you butthurt.
What the heck?
Someone said, since you have access to Twitter, it gives you you think it gives you the right to whine over people with actual problems? Do you think like having Twitter as a platform gives you more voice, like you can just say whatever you want, whatever, something like that?
That's trying to say, like, should you throw food away because there's people in the world starving? It's a dumb assertion, because Twitter's whole idea is to have a voice, and people that follow you choose to follow you to listen to your voice. Twitter doesn't give your tweets out just to random people with no fuckery, right? Twitter gives it to a specific audience that wants to follow you to hear what you're thinking about. And to say that my problems are less or more, I have it better than other people, sure. You have it better than other people. Why are you on Twitter? Right? You have obviously an electronic device that can get on Twitter. You're doing better than a person building a well in Uganda. Twitter.
Right.
So your question's stupid.
Yeah.
And again, these were pulled from the audience.
The audience are just people I've thrown off of my Twitch Twitch channel.
Yeah. I have another one right here. Someone named Abel Archer was wondering about the FPS bootcamp and aftermath. Did you have any weight loss or diet changes, and what was up with your dislike for yogurt?
Never been a huge fan of yogurt, especially like the Greek tannin type yogurt.
Yeah.
Like if I want to do yogurt, I want to do like Yoplait, because every time you open up like a Dannon yogurt, it has like that pool of water in it, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of it. It's just like I don't eat fish either, and it's like I probably never will eat fish. Like the only time you're gonna catch your boy Jay eating fish is if I'm out in the fucking wilderness, lost, and fish is the only thing I can fucking catch.
Right.
I mean, but like the FPS bootcamp, I think it was a success. Like it motivated me. It picked me up from a dark place in my life. I just got done selling my truck, which was a huge financial mistake to buy. I bought a 2012 F-150, and I did it in the back end of my YouTube career, and I did it on a whim. It was the dumbest thing, one of the dumbest things I've ever done in my life. And I had stomach pains forever when I first bought it. I never even got to enjoy that truck. I kept it for like a year and a half. I never once enjoyed it because I was always worried about paying for it. So I ended up getting rid of that. And change of scenery, and like I was fully appreciative of Kitty and Kyle. I went in there. Kitty bought me a new bed, or for the house. They want to they want to claim it was for me, but I could have used a regular shower. Not to mention, like I did use the shower, but at the same time, it's like, why would you put a $5,000 shower in for somebody to stay at your house a month?
Right.
For you as well.
Right.
And I thought the boot camp went off with a hitch. There was a period in the middle of it where I got a little homesick, but I ended up staying the entire thing. I think people can't seem to forget that. And it gave me a new outlook on life. I kept the weight off. I went and got a personal trainer, and like, but eventually I got depressed again. Started eating again. What ended up happening when Drew got fired from ISI, which is Iron Sharpens Iron, which is a gym I used to go to. There for like sleeping around with clients. Another personal trainer who just didn't give a shit about me, and I just weren't vibing him at all. Like he didn't want to work with me and how big I was, and like he didn't want to do any of the recording. He didn't want to like do any of the things that people donated money for.
Right.
So I was like, well, fuck this. I'm just not going to show up, and I kind of gave up, and that was all my bad. Life is failure. You only fail when you give up.
Right. You said you thought the boot camp was an overall success. I see some people are asking, why did you say Kyle didn't do shit if you thought the boot camp was a success?
Why did I say that? I mean, like, it wasn't a very... We recorded maybe 6-7 videos, right?
Right.
Most of the time, those videos were done within an hour. I mean, like, there might have been, I don't know, in total 15 hours of actual work done that month. Everything else was on me. Like, they were more of like overseers on me than we were like working out every day. Like, it was like what I usually did was I woke up, I walked around the property, which Kyle had a pretty big property. It was probably like a mile around at the time.
Damn.
Right.
On the property I'd grab the mail, and then like I'd basically sit down and chill out. If Kyle wanted to do something, we did it. If he didn't, we didn't do it. He was gone on the weekends. He had this girlfriend, I forgot her name, but his girlfriend lived in Atlanta. He'd go drive to Atlanta every weekend, so it was just me on the weekends, and I drove Kitty around.
Okay.
I mean, like, I lost a lot of weight. I lost like 41 some pounds. I think I started at 443. I ended at like 403.
Damn.
It was a good experience. I hugged his neck. I thanked him for the opportunity and stuff. But the fact is, I think a lot of things that drive wedges between me and Kyle are people like wanting to nitpick, and I'm just brutally honest with a lot of the things I say.
Right.
So you believe it was a success mostly because, I mean, you did experience some weight loss and stuff like that.
Weight loss, it rejuvenated my channel for a while. It pushed me forward to a healthy lifestyle because, like, even after I quit with Drew, I got back on it and did Walking 365, which Walking 365 was probably the biggest success I had up until now in like weight loss and like just feeling physically fit.
That's good.
You know,
Let's kind of segue off the. We'll get back into Q&As, but let's take a break real fast. Kind of, why don't you tell us like why you switched from YouTube to Twitch, the platform?
Well, the main reason I switched from YouTube to Twitch was because January, Machinima dropped a lot of dead contracts that weren't like making money, and almost all the COD guys got dropped. Nearly all of us. I think T. Martin and White Boy and like one other person's contract was kept for like a year extra. But after that, I went from making X amount of dollars to X amount of dollars. It was like 70%, right? Just in like, so I'm having to work the same amount of time and making 30% of the money I was making before, right? So just imagine going to your job and like they just cut your check by 70%, but expect you to work the same hours and the same length and stuff like that. It really, it tears you down as a person. It's like, well, fuck.
MP3 just donated, and he asked if you can give a shout out to Sean Ranklin for the history of your channel. I don't know if
No, I'm not.
yeah,
Fuck Sean Ranklin.
you heard it here.
Well, I guess that counts as a shout
Well, it
out.
also
Well,
kind of goes into another question. What do you think about these troll channels that kind of hover around you?
life.
What was that?
Honestly, like they call me a toxic person, and I'm this hard person to deal with, but they spend their entire day over and over and over again. Like, look at your own chat right now. Look what the chat consists of.
Sean Ranklin.
These people don't stop here. They call your
Right.
phone. They leak information. They send hookers to your house. They send bags of shit to your house. They send like postcards to your house. Try to get into my bank account when I had when they thought there was money into it. They put me on telemarketer shit. Like, there's so many things they did, and not to mention the long-term ramifications. Like, every time I say to somebody, yeah, I used to do YouTube, and they go, well, what's your channel name? I don't want you to see it, because when you do it, you're just going to pop up the worst of the worst. Like, times where I was in a depressive state, and I was upset at life, and, like, these guys wanted to document it and think that there's some kind of, like, social justice warriors, when all they're doing is young kids that are being assholes.
How do you know
They
they're
call
young
them trolls.
kids, though?
Because I know they're young kids.
Is it in your
Because
demographic? Like the
the
analytics?
demographic, because most people started finding me around 13 to 14. 9 years later, they're early 20s,
Right.
right? And
I call those adults, grown ass men.
grown ass men, but they're grown ass men that are mostly non-starters.
Right.
That's an opinion, though. That's just an opinion from how, like, they're so obsessed with somebody else. I've never in my life looked at somebody and thought, like, I hate this dude. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make his life miserable.
Right.
Right. Do you think there's like, what's the reason you have so much hate going on? Like, what started all of it?
What started all this was me having breakdowns in World at War, because I hate Call of Duty, and, like, I hate playing it, and like I had to stream it, and I was hoping to make good money streaming it, and, like, I started taking donations for the surgery, and, like, I was hoping to change my life around, and every chance people could get, they would fuck me. They'd join session, they would shoot rockets at my feet, they would make me miserable the entire time I was there. I had super bad anxiety. This is before I was on anxiety meds, 100%. And I would just crack. I would just scream at them and, like, just get mad at them. They enjoyed it, and they laughed, and people started making montages. And there's this guy named God, what the fuck was his name? Some dude made a video that got 100,000 views, and he got put on, like, a YouTube thing, and then somebody got a clip that got another 100,000 views.
Right.
People seen, like, oh, we can actually get notoriety doing this, and people started doing it, and then PKA picked up and started asking people to make videos about me. It's like,
What was that?
this is what I asked not to do, ask these questions about drama.
Right. No. We were just doing that because it kind of tied in with the whole Twitch and then the accounts picking up on you. And
What it is,
like I said, you
switched
don't have
over-
to answer any of this stuff. Connor, was there another follow-up question, or
No, Jacob, do you have one? You haven't.
I kind of had one. It was about
Okay.
Yeah,
4
go ahead,
years
Glenn.
ago. Boogie made a video, Boogie2988. Just kind of like, and you've also connected with, like I said, White Boy and Woody's Gamertag. What's it like being in this kind of community with all these people, being able to talk to them and collab?
Yeah, I'm not in that community. I mean, I talk to White Boy some and Jive some, but most part I don't talk to anybody else that's famous.
You've never, you haven't talked to Boogie since, or?
Now and then, but I don't have, like, daily conversations.
Right,
with him.
but. Jacob, did you have a question?
Let's see.
I do. We have a
Can you
question in
still
the
send-
chat.
All right.
It says, ask why Wings lied about changing the plane ticket when he didn't even have them booked until months later.
I had the same plane ticket booked when I first lied about the plane ticket. The surgery date.
There we go.
Oh,
Here's another one. How do you feel about the current state of YouTube with Logan Paul and KSI?
Yeah, I feel
Like
like if
it's
you got in a
not.
boxing match with Keemstar, you could have, jump started that trend before them. That would have been kind of lit.
That was after the trend anyway. But
Yeah, you could have been the first.
no. The KSI and like that other dude fought, and we would have been the second.
Ah, shit. All right.
Um,
Cool.
we had
How
a
do you know?
donation.
How do you know I didn't have the tickets booked? Do you live with me? So
We don't know.
these motherfuckers just accusing me of shit. Like this is what I
Right.
get upset about.
Right.
Just imagine you're in my shoes. You got people spamming your address in a public forum right now. You got people calling you a liar, a thief, and like you've done everything you said you were going to do. You
Right.
told people exactly where the fucking money's going. I obviously got to Mexico. I obviously bought a fucking plane ticket, right?
You've obviously had
Like-
the surgery.
Surgery. Oh man, this is so annoying. Like this is what I want to quit for right here.
Right. So
This
I
is
mean, I
my
guess
life.
let's just
Every
address
second
that.
that
If you
I-
could
that I'm
address
public
them
for.
right now, I mean, what would you say to all these people that are calling you a liar, calling you fake?
I don't care about them. Like normally, what I would do is I would just ignore them. This is why I don't have any interaction with anybody outside of like my streams. Because like, I go to the stream, I get it done, I get the fuck out because I don't feel like dealing with this.
I'm seeing a lot of like accusations though. Like, do you have any regrets or anything? Do you have anything you feel like you could apologize for? I don't really know much about your history, so it's not like I'm leading you on or anything. I'm genuinely curious.
Did I get upset? Yes, and I've apologized for it already. I got upset unjustly a bunch of times. Early days of not world, the last Call of Duty thing, whatever, the Sledgehammer Call of
Right,
Duty.
right.
But the game was a fucking terrible game.
I feel like they
I
can't get
hated-
mad at you for Call of Duty rages. A lot of people rage at Call of Duty. Yours is just public because you stream it.
I'm not even the worst rager on fucking Twitch, but somehow I'm this toxic person.
Right.
Attacking me about this 13K is because they think it bothers me. Stream.
So, how serious are you about quitting? I mean, it feels like you've built kind of a legend on YouTube. You kind of have a decent career.
I don't care about that shit, dude. I don't care anything about that shit, dude. I hate YouTube and Twitch.
So what makes you keep doing it?
I'm going through the weight loss period, and I got to get things together. There's things I have to pay for. Like, I got to pay for my schooling. I got to get enrolled in school. I got to lose the weight. I got to make sure I got money to keep the lights and stuff on. Things like that. That's the reason that keeps me doing it. As soon as I can feasibly have another form of income, I'm fucking out.
Right.
I'm out.
I think the YouTube and Twitch chats are obviously a lot more toxic, but I've followed you on Twitter, and when you post those photos now, everyone seems pretty encouraging. I mean, I feel like the trolls are just a little bit more vocal towards you.
You don't see them on my Twitter because I block them.
Oh, okay.
To places like the PK subreddit and things like that. Like even like my last progress picture, there's like 5 different subreddit threads of people accusing me of photoshopping. Motherfucker, I've never even made a thumbnail for my YouTube channels, and you want to accuse me of photoshopping a picture to the point that people who Photoshop can't tell if it's photoshopped or not?
Right. I definitely see that.
It's like you're just nitpicking at me to nitpick at me.
Right.
Like, get a fucking life.
It has to be like refreshing though to know that there are people out there that follow you that genuinely care about you.
I don't hate those people. If my whole stream was compressed around those people, I'd be fine. But it's not. There's a guy I found the other day with a screenshot that says he has 150 accounts made to get through my. I have a 30-month follower mode on Twitch, so you can't talk on my channel unless you've been following over a month. So he's like maturing 150 accounts for a month, so that they can have him and his friends can come on and troll and get banned within 10 seconds.
Wow. So I guess one of our questions from is like, how would you describe your community as a whole? You're obviously not pleased with it. Like, if you could change it, how would you change it?
Trolls. I hate calling them trolls because that's not even what they are. They're just assholes. Trolls is when you trick somebody. Like trolling something like, you know, where you like you do something and you use sleight of hand to do something else. Like you trick somebody or you
Right.
like that. Like these guys are just like, your ex-girlfriend went with black guys. They have no proof of it. It doesn't bother me, but they just spam it over and over again. Like, I don't even drink Pepsi. I drank Pepsi like a few times because it was on sale. But like, I got a shrine to Coca-Cola back there. Why don't you have Coca-Cola memes? I literally have a fucking curio cabinet full of Coca-Cola memorabilia.
Are you
Use
sponsored?
a Pepsi. No, I'm not sponsored
Ah,
either. People like, who do you think is the worst person here? Like, look at your chat.
oh, I'm not saying that what they're saying is true. I'm just the community is obviously
Yeah,
toxic.
I mean, it's got to come from somewhere, in my opinion. Like, I don't know, man.
Streamer alive that could take my community and never have any kind of rage.
Right.
Not happening.
Yeah. Well, and you're not the only community like that. I mean,
But like, I have the worst one, hands down. Side Phil and all the other peoples, and it's because I let it get to me.
Have you been working on that as far as like dealing with?
I don't even give a shit no more. Like
Oh, come on.
I'm getting to the point where I'm just going to accept that people that look up my YouTube channel are going to find other channels before mine. Person. So like, my only option is to just get a job and go be as hermit as humanly possible.
I mean, how is your growth doing as far as your channels? I mean, YouTube, you're at like 428K, I think.
I've been at 428K for like 5 years.
Twitch is at, I think,
Channel hasn't grown
89,000 or something.
slowly, but most of the Twitch followings I have are people making multiple accounts to get banned on.
Wow. Well, I mean, giving up because of trolls sounds a little depressing. We don't want you to do that.
Like I said, Sir Sparky, I asked these guys not to do this live, and they wanted to do it live anyway. I'm like, you know what it's going. I'm gonna tell you what it's going to be, and this is what it's going to be.
No, we're not up against you right now. We're like giving you a chance to like address it.
I said every day.
Right.
You come. This is my live stream every day.
Yeah, that's
Boring.
not good.
This is what it is every day. It's either people making fun of me in Rainbow Six chat, people accusing me of something. Anything. I don't know.
All right, let's. We got a genuine fan question here. Abel asked, regarding how you sometimes stream games, you have no interest or enjoyment in them. Do you just play games that will attract viewers? How has this impacted your stream?
I enjoy Rainbow Six. It just happens to attract viewers too.
Do you feel like sometimes you're forced to play games just because they're popular at the time?
Pretty much don't play games off of streaming.
Okay, that's fair. Connor, do you guys have anything?
I've been just trying to find a good viewer question.
Yeah, I've been trying to fucking block or put doxing people on timeout. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
We had a question about you regarding subbotting your Twitch with Twitch Prime subs.
I've already turned those people in. I didn't subbot myself. Somebody else subbotted me, and they've all been removed.
Oh, there we go. Asked and answered.
Somebody subbotted me. I turned it in. Since I've been trolled and people have reported my channel so many times, I actually have a Twitch guy that I can talk to at any time.
Well, I wanted to ask you, you had an original Twitter that was verified. Did that get hacked or?
I got accused of selling it by Keemstar, but no, I gave it to Woody for a while, and Woody kept on it for a while because like I was mentally unstable. Like I was dealing with depression and anxiety,
Right.
and I just couldn't handle all the bad feedback I was getting off of it. So then Woody gave it back to me when I had a falling out with PKA, and then I gave it to a guy named Patrick. And when Patrick had it, it eventually got hacked. Russian guy, I think, or something like that, got it, and they changed the name of it and everything like that. And when I got it back, Twitch had taken all the followers off of it. So I have it back now, but I was like, fuck, I'll just start with a clean slate. How am I lying? What the fuck am I lying about, John? Why would I lie about anything there?
Someone was asking if you're gonna make like a surgery update video, like a vlog or.
I'm not.
Yeah, I think it'd clear the air quite a bit.
Yeah, like have you
At least
considered
more
like?
so than on this
No,
podcast.
here's what I considered. I considered never doing YouTube again, and as soon as I got enough money and enough space, I'm leaving Twitch too. That's what I considered.
Damn.
Do you know what you would go to do? Like, I mean, you said you were going to go to school. What would you want
Emergency
to?
medical technician.
Be good. People are saying that you promised a like surgery recap video.
Surgery recap video, but I gave pictures instead, and I just don't feel like dealing with the fallout.
Right. Again, we're not up against you. I mean, we're just.
Somebody asked if you're going to become a fireman.
Depends on what job openings there are.
Be good.
All right. There are several people that keep spamming, and they just want to know what you think about certain people. There's GL Thompson. There's Froggy the Kid, and there's somebody else. What do you think of them? I have no idea who they are, but
GL Thompson is a guy who's made over 100 accounts. He's jumped into my Rainbow Six party and sandbagged. He is one of the main guys that run like troll discords, and he's also threatened to call in bomb threats on my plane trip when I was going to get surgery.
Oh wow.
Piece of shit that will lie through his teeth to try to make me look bad. That's who GL Thompson is. Froggy the Kid is a great person. He donated a good amount of money to my surgery things, and he felt like he wanted proof that I got the surgery. I gave him proof that he got surgery because he kind of regretted donating towards me.
Right.
So like he hasn't really brought it up again since I showed him that I actually did get the surgery. And who was the other person you asked about?
Froggy the Kid.
I did
there's
Thompson and
also-
Frog.
Okay. Oh, there's Mr. Medicure as well.
What that is.
Yeah, me either.
Kind of. I mean, you kind of already answered it, but do you see yourself like where do you see yourself in 5 years as far as the channel? If you're still on YouTube, do you want to continue streaming? Do you want to make other content? I mean, you hate streaming, it sounds like. I mean, if you had to stay on YouTube, what would be another route?
Then I'm probably never going back to YouTube.
There we go.
Do you know how you're gonna like pay for school and stuff? Or are you just gonna save up as much revenue as you can?
Twitch donations.
I wanted to ask you about the podcast show. I have a screenshot of it here. How did you kind of form this? Like, did you connect with White Boy and all them? And
white boy came to me and he goes, people have been asking me to do a podcast again, and people want me to do a podcast with you. I'm like, I'm down for that.
Right.
I'm like, do you got anybody else? And white boy goes, no. I go, I got a couple people podcast with. You mind if I ask them? And he goes, cool. And the 2 people I asked were both said yes. Been Jive Turkey. Because like I love Jive Turkey from back in the Call of Duty days. I think he makes awesome videos. I think he still makes awesome videos. He's a great person. Everything I would like to be when I get his age. Like, he's just that cool of a dude. He is one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. He's one of the kindest people I've ever met in my life. And I'm happy as motherfucker that he's got success that he has right now.
Would you be willing to continue the podcast as, like, even if you do go to work, like, get off YouTube, would you be willing to come back on for podcasts?
Once I'm gone, I'm trying to go cold turkey. I'll probably delete my Facebook, delete the Twitter, delete the YouTube channel.
Just going
do
completely
it all.
off the grid.
Because once I get established in another job, I never want to remember this part of my life again.
Really? Do you have, like, what do your friends or, family think about this line of work? Like, do they know that you're involved in it?
My mother wants me to get out of it too, because like they harass her on telephone calls and things like that, and like my grandmother doesn't understand it, but she knows it makes money.
Right.
Twitch for 8 years. Like, how you saying how? But Twitch hasn't even been around for 8 years.
Was that a comment or something?
Yeah, somebody in the chat.
Okay. And was that truck that you were talking about earlier, was that the red one that you posted about on Twitter?
Truck. I paid for that truck before I even started YouTube.
Okay.
I got that truck as a high school gift from my mother. She co-signed for it. And I ended up paying it off 3.5 years because I worked at a pizza delivery place and a steel mill before I started YouTube.
Okay.
I think they're referencing like another truck.
They,
for, like,
I
somebody else.
in my recent streams, I said I really love the look of the Ford Raptor, and somebody goes, "How much should you donate?" I go, "Donate 60 grand so I can buy me a Ford Raptor." But I'll settle for $1. I think I'm going to take the money for the surgery and go against an $80,000 truck.
Right.
It's like I could put every dollar I have left from the surgery fund against the truck, and it would still be more of a house payment. It would be more of a payment than my house.
Oh, look, an Alice girl just said that they love you. That's not all trolls right now. You got some fans. I mean, you generally, there's a lot. I think your fan base cares about you. Like I said, I think the trolls are more vocal.
Yeah. How long is your ban list?
I don't know. I've done it a few times. I think right now it's in the thousands.
Oh my god.
Like, it's just people like this that make multiple accounts. Not a bunch. It's not 1,000 different people. It's probably 100 people with 10 accounts each.
Wow. I mean, I think we've covered all the...
We got all of our questions. You want to do one more round of viewer and then cut it?
Yeah, Wings, is up to you. Well, let's ask this. Do you have anything that you want to address right now? As far as...
No.
Or how you're feeling? Like, you don't have to address anything, but, like, just... Any updates?
This is a whole disaster piece, and your video is going to get stolen and put on troll channels.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
You haven't really said anything. Like, you're addressing what they're saying, and there's nothing to really clip.
They will steal this video, and they're going to put it on troll channels. I suggest you strike them.
Sheesh. Well, I mean... We definitely don't
I think we got through everything.
I mean, is there anything that you would like to add, Wings? I mean...
I kind of want to get off.
Alright. Well, we will end it here then. Thank you everyone for joining us. Wings, thank you. We've linked all of his media down in the bio, so if you aren't already following him, if you haven't checked him out, check him out. And yeah, I mean, just help. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it.
Shit show, but like I knew as soon as I realized it's live, I knew it was going to be a shit show.
the biggest thing that I want you to know is like you have fans that care about you. Like I know like the chat's dominated, but
It's hard to see it.
like Spitfire right there, he just said we love you, Wings.
Hard to see it.
Yeah, I'm sorry you feel that way,
yeah.
man. You definitely are impacting people though, so we're grateful that you came on, man. All right, thank you everyone for watching, and we will catch you on the next episode of the Cosmic Closet podcast next Thursday. And yeah, thank you again, Wings.